I had an interesting game today playing Oil Rogue, and I thought it would make a great video to show you how one mistake of playing too greedy can just lose you the game outright. So I keep my hand. Preparation is almost always good in your starting hand. I wouldn't normally keep Farseer, but since this is a hunter, and hunters are known for being aggressive, and I know I'm going to take a lot of face damage, I decided to keep it. And the backstab draw just was perfect, just to make my hand even better, and I pick up the heal bot, which means I have even more healing to deal with his aggressiveness. So I'm feeling really good about this game. Oil Rogue is already a pretty good against Hunter, all forms of Hunter, mid-range and base Hunter, but this hand just made me very confident going into the game. So I go with the obvious play, the backstab, and I decide, hey, I'm just going to use the Farseer to develop my board. I know I'm going to need to trigger the freezing trap at some point, so I go ahead and play it. He plays Shredder. I don't really have much to do with Shredder. I go ahead and play the Sprint, hoping to draw into something that can help me deal with it.
Of course.
And I don't draw anything good, so I figure, hey, I'm just going to trigger the freezing trap and figure out my play next turn.
Here we go.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
And I draw into the sap, which is perfect. Now right here I have pretty much two lines of play. Well, actually more than two lines of play, but two lines I was thinking of playing. One was the Violet Teacher play, which I ended up going with, which is just prepping the sap, and I'll get 2 1/1s to go with that. The other play was just to Assassin's Blade, kill his 4/3, and then pass. Now, thinking about what he could have to deal with the teacher, I was thinking maybe Eaglehorn Bow. But instead he goes Knife Juggler Unleash. Which I guess was problematic, but as long as he didn't kill my Violet Teacher, I really didn't care. And he didn't kill my Violet Teacher. So now I decided that I was just going to play the the Fan of Knives to clear off his 1/1s and give me some more 1/1s. I draw into the Blade Flurry, which will serve maybe be handy later. And I just eviscerate the 3/2. No reason to save eviscerates in this matchup. And I get myself some more 1/1s, which is really good against Hunter. And he plays his second Unleash the Hounds, and I was a bit bitter after he had already played an Unleash the Hound the turn before. It just seems like his hand was a really good counter hand to what I had. Now, this is the turn where I play really greedy. I know I can kill him next turn if I go with this play, which in most of the time this would be a really good play, but it is weak to the Harrison Jones. So I wouldn't recommend doing this play in other matchups because you could just straight out lose to it, and that's exactly what happens in this matchup. He Harrison Jones me, he gets 3 cards, and I lose a 7/3 weapon. Now this play, I wouldn't say I wouldn't do this play if I were to do the game over. I could have just played Healbot, daggered up, and passed. But to me, that is an aggressive play. It's a forcing play. And 9 times out of 10, if you're playing against Hunter, they're not going to be running to Harrison Jones. But nonetheless, it did cost me this game. And I do make some desperate attempts to come back. I still felt like after this play, I had a decent shot of coming back. But the reality was just giving him 3 cards just put me too far behind in card advantage.
I wonder.
And he plays Lotheb. Lotheb is really good against Rogue. Rogue has a ton of spells. And he obviously quick shotted that because he doesn't want me to get oh, actually, I don't know why he quick shotted that. I guess he wanted to save his 5-1, but I just end up SI agenting, using SI agent and killing off the 5-1. I still have healing. He still is at 15, so I know if I have enough damage in my deck to kill him. I just have to cycle to it. Like if I draw and sprint, I know I have a good chance of coming back and winning this game. Drawn to eviscerate. Think, oh, okay, that's good for killing off the 5-2. And I know I'm gonna have to trigger this trap, whether it's a freezing trap, explosive trap, or snake trap. I'm hoping it's a snake trap, but it ends up being a freezing trap. So I don't really have a great play. In hindsight, it might have been better to play the Farseer, but just so I could dagger up. But to be completely honest, his 4-3s cannot really trade well with the 5-5 anyhow. So I figured, hey, if I draw into oil, then maybe I could get off a good burst with oil and Blade Flurry. But that doesn't happen. I draw into backstab. And at this point, it's just too late for me to really come back. I have no sap to get around this taunt, and I'm pretty much lost. And he has lethal on the board, and I have absolutely no way to deal with it. So the Harrison Jones really screwed over my game. I had no real way to recover after that, and I just concede. But that was a good game, and my opponent did play really well.